The Senate President, Mercenaries-Akpabio, during plenary yesterday stated that we shouldn't conclude on this issue of soldiers that were killed in the Delta community. According to him, he doesn't think these people are from even the Niger Delta area because we are not at war, and he believes that an average Nigerian respects a Nigerian soldier and would not intentionally do to them what was done to them in the Delta community. So he suggests that maybe killers of these soldiers are actually mercenaries. This video has been trending since yesterday. Yeah, Senate President, and of course he made this comment during a debate on the merged motions by Senators Abdulaziz Erdua and Ede Dafinone, who were actually raising a motion calling for relief materials and also assistance to victims of the attack. But Akpabio quickly interjected and told the lawmakers that we shouldn't conclude yet and be talking about relief materials, because according to him, and just as you heard him say in the video, this act might not have been actually perpetrated by people in that Delta community. They could have been mercenaries. And on the other hand, a couple of days ago, a retired Major General Cecil Esehaigbe, actually raised the alarm over the military's operation in Okwama community in Delta State, where the soldiers were killed. He asked or posed some questions out there that people have actually been commenting on social media. So the Major General asked what the intelligence surrounding the operation was really about, and also he went on to ask if the soldiers had a clear definition or a clear understanding of what their mission was supposed to be in the Delta community. Did the army follow the right procedure in actually taking these men to that place where they got killed? Because according to this Major General, who is retired by the way, the issue of internal security is primarily the responsibility of the Nigerian police and not that of the Nigerian army. So this afternoon we're asking, is it the job of the Nigerian army to settle communal clashes? Gentlemen.
Well, let me start from the angle of
Akpabio, right?
The Senate President. I think the advisors to the Senate President need to tell him some things. When you are on a seat, especially a kind of top seat like this, there are some things you don't say. One hand, you are talking about thorough investigation. Another one, you said you don't believe. In this country, can we count the number of communities where soldiers have been killed? This is not the first one now. And there are different reactions. This one, even in the Delta State, there are several times that soldiers have been killed. This one is so painful because it is just land tussle between two communities, and you are now talking in that manner. No. At that level, no. I think he needs, and this is not the first time, this is not the second time, this is not the third time, that there are some certain utterances that somebody at the high level, you want to open up for investigation. Okay, Senate Committee on Army should investigate, or Nigerian Army and also a kind of combined committee should look into it. Fine. At least then you move on. That one is one. Then secondly, you see, on this table, we've said it severally, the way we are using our soldiers, we are ridiculing them. And these are people that when they go outside on peace mission, forget people in Africa, people rate them high, even United Nations rate them high, irrespective of the challenges we are facing at home. We know that majority of the challenges we are facing with this issue of banditry, whatever, politicians are the one making soldiers difficult. They are the ones that are making the job of soldiers very difficult. We know Nigerian soldiers. Within 1 week, they will clear all these people. But politicians, politics, ethnicity, religion is making it difficult for those soldiers to really win. Now, if we are now saying in times of peace, what is a DPO, area command, that fall into that particular place? What are they doing? The squadron of mobile police that have been sent there, what are they doing? The way we are using our soldiers, they are not made for that. Look, when a soldier dies, there are a lot of implications. One of the implications is this: the money you use to train the soldiers from the point of entry to the level that he is, that means it's gone. The training is gone. Exposure is gone. Nigeria has lost him. His family has lost him. A single soldier, his immediate family, they've lost the breadwinner. Now, okay, look for instance now. Do you know that some certain politicians, they use soldiers as part of their security? Do you know that I know, even if I don't know anyone, I know the one of Operation Mensa attached to hey, what is this one in Oshodio? Forgotten their name. Oh. They attach them to those people on one way. Soldiers. Operation Mensa. You now see them around, soldiers. 3, in Ogun State, those people living in Ogun State, they will bear me witness. Mama P, every Sunday, they use soldier as if they are using the way we use traffic police, the way we use man o war at Ojuore every Sunday. Those Air Force, very close to that Ojuore, they are the one that will be mobilized there, so that when people see them, they are the one that will be controlling traffic. Soldiers that we train to go and fight external war. The soldiers that were trained basically for external aggression, we are now turn our soldiers to traffic warding. We turn ourselves to bodyguard. Go to land grabbing business. Go and see soldiers. The way the people are using, if anything, they'll go and call soldiers. Soldiers just like that. So the way we turn soldiers to is what has reduced. Which community have the effrontery to attack soldiers when they know the repercussions of what is going to happen? But we've turned them into, when we get to Buka, we'll sit down, we see soldiers, we are eating rice and beans together. Soldier, you go to Itri, you see soldiers. Tautu, you see soldiers. Tautu will be one to put his hand into the eyes of a soldier. You see a soldier that will enter bus that will not want to pay. Soldier. You see a soldier that will take one way. Soldier. So when you cumulate all this together, the kind of respect that we place soldiers has also reduced. That is the reason why what makes those criminals in those communities. Because saying they are foreigners, in fact, investigation has even shown that particular clash, it is not today. It has been in a sense since last year. In fact, Delta State government has called them this February. So saying that they are from what Senator Akpabio said, maybe they are foreigner from where? What is important is that Nigerian army should go to the root of this matter. All those people that perpetrated the evil, kill our soldiers, they must be brought to book, and we must see it. They are being persecuted. All
right, Mr. Adegbenro, thank you very much. But what you're trying to say is, haven't sent those soldiers, to that community in the first place was an aberration. Yes. Is that what you're saying? Okay, thank you. All right, let me hear your thoughts, Mr. Shokito.
Well, first of all, on Akpabio, this man, for some reason that I don't quite understand, it seems determined to drag his own name in the mud, and he keeps coming out with new unbelievable utterances every week. And this one is another example. I don't understand how the number 3 citizen of the country, the number 1 representative of the people, because it's assumed that the National Assembly is the place where politicians are gathered to represent the people directly. That is, we have access to them, they have access to us. The executives are implementers, while the National Assembly are representatives and lawmakers. So he's the number 1 representative of the people. To hear him say what he said, for me, it's shocking. So basically, if I understand what he's saying, is that what happened in that place is terrible. soldiers should not have been killed. Therefore, the senators that moved a motion suggesting relief materials to the communities that have been razed by fire should step that motion down because soldiers were killed. He is a representative of those communities as well. So, we don't know what has happened so far. We can only guess. But one thing we know for certain is that whoever killed the soldiers, they didn't do it as a community. It's not as if the entire community sat down, the Homa village, or what's the name of that village, sat down in a meeting and decided to kill the soldiers.
Even though the military don't agree with what you're saying right now.
I don't know.
They seem to think there's some sort of complicity.
No,
because I get that, but because the villagers didn't speak out, so.
Complicity. Even if you have maybe the village head and some chiefs, for example, I'm just saying, gathered and colluded. Is it every single person in that village that was part of it? So the people that have suffered some sort of harm, what is wrong in saying, okay, let's send relief materials there to take care of people
who are homeless now, by the way. Yeah.
Houses have been burnt. Whilst investigations are going on. Excuse me. Even if you finish the investigations and discover that there was collusion and complicity on the part of every single individual in that village, they still have rights. They're still human beings. Even if you send them to prison, you give them food. So I don't understand the point of the Senate president in saying something so carelessly. He talks carelessly. For a man in such a high office, it's so unfortunate that he doesn't weigh his words carefully. He's always had this personality of making a joke out of everything. Even when he was governor, he just talks offhand and just makes a joke.
Common governor.
He wants to say, I'm on a common governor. He laughs about everything. He needs to understand that the office is occupying now. He's not a laughing office. He's not a joking office. It's a serious office. He's the number 3 citizen of our country. For me, that is a major concern, more than, in addition to everything else that is going on. Now, having said that, I agree with Mr. Demiro on the abuse of the soldiers and what they were doing there in the first place. It's a bit funny because, this was a communal clash, border and boundary issues. And apparently, there's some militancy element involved. The name of Tompolo came up as one of his major lieutenants. Is somehow involved in this thing, So, in the midst of all of that, I think that if we've had areas where there have been communal clashes all over the country. Aguleri, what's the name of those villages in Imo State? Ife, Modakeke. There have been places where there have been long-running border and land disputes. I don't understand why soldiers should be the ones to go and make the peace there. I think you could have sent a detachment of the police. And if there's intelligence that, no, this one is more than
what the police can handle,
then let soldiers go. Well, so be it. Whatever has happened now is very unfortunate. The soldiers have been killed. I think it's important to also condemn what appears to be reprisals. I think it's important that soldiers, even if they were attacked and their officers were killed unjustly, they cannot and must not take the law into their own hands. They cannot and must not just run into a village and run it down and start setting fire to houses. I mean, are we in the 18th century? In fact, are we in the 10th century where invading forces will just come and they'll be throwing fire into people's houses? It's terrible. So the military hierarchy also needs to be a bit careful with how they handle this. I think the truth is important. Let's get to the truth. Let's get the truth as quickly as possible, and let consequences be meted out accordingly across board. The community and whoever is complicit in committing this crime should be brought to book. The people that also set fire, because you cannot be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in your own case. So let's assume the soldiers were killed. The army cannot go in there and just mete out justice. That's jungle justice. They should arrest those people, take them to court, and let them be sentenced to prison or whatever. If the court say they will be sentenced to death by hanging, for example, so be it. But the soldiers and the army should not be the ones also carrying out reprisal. We've had OD, we've had Zakibiam, we've had these examples of these types of things happening in this country, in Zaria. It should not happen again. This is 2024. We're supposed to be getting better and more civilized. Please, we need to fix this. Let the people in authority act swiftly to bring this matter to an end. And, let Nigeria move forward.
Okay. All right. So this retired Major General, whose name is Cecil Esighaigbe, actually had so many questions. You would expect as a retired Major General, he should be answering, the questions, because that's the questions people are asking. But he's confused as well, and he was asking, the presenter of the program, these questions as well as to the fact that there are basic tactics, doctrines and training, in the military, and before you can post a military man, even to a communal dispute or whatever, there is a certain procedure to be followed, and he's not sure whether that procedure was followed in this regard, which led to the unfortunate death of the soldiers, plus the fact that rescue operation also was very poor, all right, which allowed for what happened to have happened without anyone actually coming to the aid of those soldiers. The way they were killed, so demeaning. After killing them, then you furthermore.
It's so sad.
It is so sad. Anyway.